because it's Saturday night. Welcome to a very special Jonathan Ross Christmas show. Look how Christmassy it is. And let's have a look and see who's in my festive green room tonight. First up, we have a great comic performer, now one of the country's top children's authors as well. It's Mr. David Walliams, ladies and gentlemen. David Walliams. Hey, David. Hello. With him, a genuine national treasure. She's bubblier than a champagne jacuzzi. It's Barbara Windsor. Also here this evening, I assume that everyone in the world has now seen Frozen, the Disney cartoon. You all know the biggest song from that film was Let It Go. That was sung by my guest this evening. She'll be singing a Christmas song for us at the end of the show. It's Idina Menzel. And we have a sporting superstar, one of the handful of men on the planet who've won the Formula One World Championship, not once but twice. It's his first major interview since winning the title. And man, he looks good this evening. It's Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, one of our sporting superstars right here. That's a good new look for you, Lewis. Thank you. There we go. And next to Lewis, it's a world title for telling jokes. He'd be a surefire contender. Consistently one of the funniest stand-ups in the country. Mr. Jimmy Carr is also on the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's a fat show. And as if that weren't enough, we also have the world's biggest and best one-man band. It's the world-conquering Ed Sheeran. He's here. He's performing live during the show. And now, who doesn't love a good Christmas light display? We all love Christmas lights, don't we? But every year, people seem to push the boat out a little bit further in an attempt to decorate their homes and to add to the neighbours. Here's some seasonal illuminations I want you to have a look at. And look at the care and effort that's gone into this one. This is probably my favourite. Look at that. Wow. What makes you think that's probably a bachelor's house? Beam me up for a meal for one. Full marks for effort and imagination. A different kind of imagination went into this one here. Look at this. And if you think that's a worry, you should see what he's dropped down the fireplace. But, of course, the big challenge is keeping up with the neighbours. So if we look at this family house here, that's rather beautiful. That's gorgeous, isn't it? So imagine you're the neighbour. How do you keep up with that? Well, this neighbour did this. That's like the best effort you could possibly make, isn't it? But we've gone to a lot of effort this year as well, because we thought we've never had lights like that in the studio before. Let's put some lights in the green room there. And I thought, seeing as we have Barbara Windsor, who is like the unofficial queen of Christmas in my house, we'd ask Barbara to do the honour of turning on our Christmas lights. So, Barbara, if you fancy it.
My pleasure, darling.
Wow. That's too much. Turn it off, or else Ed will turn into one giant freckle. I'm only thinking of your skin, Ed.
I turn into the Union Jack if I go on holiday because it's just red and white. And
wow.
It's just,
well, do you ever cover one bit with a little kind of piece of paper just to see, and so you've got a little area which is...
No, but I did do this thing this summer where I put on sun cream everywhere apart from just there, like a strip on the nipple, and it burnt my nipple.
Well, happy Christmas, everybody. No idea why you would tell people that.
Did you ask?
I didn't say, how's your nip?
Is that actually they go inward, they don't...
Well, no one wants to know!
They're like little craters,
Just stop it with your nipples!
He's got an inverted nipple.
I've got matching inverted nipple.
You know, that's how it starts with Walliams, later on.
That's true.
I think, just for their sake, we better get him out of the green room and into the main area. He's a one-man entertainment industry. It's the irrepressible David Walliams, ladies and gentlemen.
Merry Christmas.
Well, it is. It does feel Christmassy now.
It does. It does.
Do you make a big fuss of it? Is the house done yet? Have you got presents sorted, all that kind of thing?
Everything is organised. Everything's under control. But there's always a present that you get from someone that you weren't expecting to give you a present.
Oh, really? Like what? Like who?
Well, a sort of distant relation or a friend of someone, and you need something. You need the backup present.
Yes.
You either need to re-gift something that you were given at the Jonathan Ross show, Or you need to have something standing by, like a candle or something like that, that could be given to anybody.
Well, I imagine you are, in my mind, the epitome of the metrosexual man.
Thank you very much.
OK? You know, is he, isn't he? No one knows, even him. And I imagine that...
Where's this going?
It's Christmas. I imagine that you like a candle. You like a...
Of course I like a candle, yeah, like everyone
so
likes,
why would you
likes,
give that away? You
likes a
wouldn't want
scented candle. But if you have a few spare ones, then you've got one in reserve.
Well, what about, do you get gifts from fans and that kind of things? Because nowadays you must have the broadest and I would have thought, in some ways, the strangest fan base, because you've got your Little Britain fans from way back when, you've got acting fans, you've got fans, children fans all over the country who adore your books, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And, of course, you've got the Britain's Got Talent fan base. Do you have much interaction with them this time of year? Do they send you gifts?
Well, I got the strangest gift I ever got from a fan was this lady sent me a wooden phallus. And the note came, I saw this and thought of you.
Wow.
Now, I don't know exactly what the connection was.
And when you go like that, is that giving us a clue as to why she thought of you?
That was a strange present. You get sweets and things from children that they actually give you from the palm of their hand at a book signing. You don't go, oh, thank you very much. I'll put that on the table. I'll eat that later. And homemade cards and things like that. It's a lovely thing, isn't it?
But exciting if you're busy. If you finish your third year on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes.
OK, would I be right in thinking the question most people ask you about that or want to know about is the main man himself, that enigma known as Simon Cowell. What do people want to know about Simon?
The main question is he gay?
Is that still the main question?
Well, he's had sex with a woman once, hasn't he? We know that now. Oh, and he's proud of that. It's like he's the first baby that's ever been born. And it's hard at Christmas what to buy him because he's the man who has everything,
yes,
apart from happiness. He's tough to buy for. And when his baby was born, I made a beautiful book, a children's book, especially for his son.
Wow, that's a lovely thing.
And even then he started making complaints about it. It could have been bigger, there could have been more pictures, these kind of things. So he finds it very hard to be nice.
But basically he's just judging everything all the time.
He's judging all the time. What he likes is making people feel uncomfortable.
Why does he like
That's
that?
his favourite thing. I can't explain it, Jonathan. I think he might be quite a dark character.
But he's a friend and, in a weird sort of way, your boss on that show, isn't he? He's in charge of that show.
He is my boss, and I should try and remember that when I go on chat shows.
Yeah. What's his fitness regime? Because
well,
he's obviously in quite good shape for his age, but when I say quite good shape, I mean quite unusual shape. And he seems very keen to show that off to everyone whenever possible.
When we're doing the shows, we're in these different venues around the country, and he has the disabled toilet is reserved for him. So he has...
that makes us all warm to him even more, doesn't it?
Anyway, but in the toilet, he has these two discs, and they're like discs with little handles on, and he does these press-ups on the floor. So he goes into the disabled toilet, and then he does these press-ups on the floor. So his breasts look really, really taut. And so he wears the tight jumper, so when he goes out, you know, his moves are really hard, but then after about 5 minutes, they're just down there again. Yeah. He's 82 years old, so, I mean, he's in good shape. It's curious, isn't it? You can't fathom the man. It's really, really hard, but it's great fun being with him.
And a huge success. I mean,
yeah,
I
love being with him, and we actually genuinely love winding each other up.
Well, speaking of success, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm as surprised as anyone at your success in the world of children's books. And I don't mean that I didn't think you had talent, but your humour previously and your career previously had been very adult. It had always been... Little Britain was a pretty adult show. I mean, it had a broader people, wasn't it? It was
kind of... very childish sense of humour.
Childish sense of humour, but kind of not stuff you would necessarily show little kids. And then you came up with your first children's book, which is now... you've had this in all success, and we'll talk about the other books as well, but that's the big kind of family Christmas film this year on BBC One.
Yeah, it's on Boxing Day.
The Boy in the Dress. Now, when you first came out with that, I thought this was more like a cry for help than an actual book. And it didn't actually... sell that well. Your books didn't sell that well at first, did they? So people think that you're a celebrity and people buy the books because of that. It didn't catch on immediately, did it?
Well, it's a tough one because famous people have kind of given books a bad name because they put their names on books they haven't written and that sort of thing. And also there's a kind of assumption that if you're on television and you bring a book out, it's easy for you. But actually, it took a while for the books to take off because I think it took a while for children to sort of, you know, for them to trust you as an author. And that's now, it's on TV at Christmas, and it's I'm in it, Mira Sayal, Jennifer Saunders, and Kate Moss.
And Kate Moss figures in the book as well, doesn't she, of course? So
yeah, well, she, you know, she's an icon of fashion, and she appears as herself, so it's not a sort of huge acting role.
I know you were asked this a lot when it came out, but was there an element of autobiography in this? Was this kind of you as... Because you were interested in fashion as much as you were interested in James Bond.
My sister used to dress me up in a bridesmaid's dress and a fur hat, and she used to parade me around the close where we lived. This was when I was about sort of 35 or 36, and... Got you. And, yeah, no, we was very, very young. And I think she wanted a little brother. She wanted a dolly to play with.
Yeah.
I'm now in therapy because of this. No, and so, yes, I think people did make an assumption it was autobiographical. It's sort of like... can I explain it? It's personal without being autobiographical. Yeah. You put yourself in there, even if those events didn't quite happen to you.
The theme is obviously personal.
Yeah.
The first book only sold, was it 10,000 copies?
I think in hardback, yeah.
And then Mr. Stink was the next one. It was about 60 or 70,000. And now, Gangster Money, how many did that sell, roughly?
Well, it's hard for me to say because it's like I'm blowing my own trumpet.
Well, I'm sure you've done that.
But it was 1 million copies!
See, I didn't know you were going to do that. You fooled me. That's incredible.
I know. You've got to cut that out. People hate me. So, yeah, they just... I think the only explanation I have is that kids like them.
Yeah, and so they said, I want the next one, and they told other families and said, maybe we'll buy it as well.
Yes, and I think then people read the old ones, and then they're all up to speed and ready to get the new one.
But this is what I admire about you. You really put the work in. I know you work very hard on these, and this is the new one. It's called Awful Auntie. Beautiful illustrations as well. They're the best thing in there, really. But there's also... They are good. But this one's out now, and this will do great for you as well, I'm sure.
Well, I wanted to do something different. This one's set in the 1930s, and is all set in one country house. And there's also a supernatural element. There's a ghost in the story as well.
But I love it. It's got any book that starts with a map. I'm happy with the map, and it's got a map of the house here. I like that.
I didn't do that. That was the illustrator.
Up here, this picture here. Did you do that one? That's my favourite bit of the book, that picture right there. I haven't read it. I've just been looking through all the pictures.
There's a lot of big words in there for you, isn't there?
Could you bring one out without the words?
Yeah, just pictures done by someone else. That's perfect.
OK. So, hey, listen, it wouldn't be Christmas without the giving of a few gifts. And I have a gift for you right here.
It's all about giving. What have you got me?
Well, here, it's wrapped here with your name on. There'll be a bit of glitter in my...
Can I say this is, of all the gifts, it is the smallest?
Yeah, it is. But in a way, the size doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't the most...
Do you want me to open it now?
Have it now, open it now, and we'll explain what it is, and people can see why I've chosen it for you. Because we all know David is a man of great physical prowess as well. He's worked for Comic Relief and incredible extremes that he pushed himself for charity. And I know that you'd like to keep in shape. So we bought this. We found this in a new American thing. Can you read what it's called there?
It's called Prancer-Size.
Prancer-Size.
And it's the art of physical and spiritual excellence, and it seems you have to prance like a horse.
You prance like a horse. And this is suitable for all ages, because you're not a young man anymore. And we have a clip to show you.
How is it at 15? What exactly happens between this lady and this horse that makes it 15?
I think she might twist her knee at one time and there's some language.
Well, I'd like to watch it now.
Well, would you like to see a little bit of Prancer-Size? And this will explain, if you see David doing this after the Christmas period, you'll know why he's doing it, and you'll know what it is, and you'll know not to shout things at him. Have a look at this. This is Prancer-Size. Look at this and see if you like it.
Hello, I'm Joanna Rohrbeck of Prancer-Size LLC, and I'm here today to show you the 4 modes of Prancer-Size. I've got my ankle weights in place, and my music's ready. So let's stop talking and do some walking.
It's fabulous.
I thought we had some music.
I think I've seen you walk like that already. Yeah, that's it. How does it feel? Does it feel like
it actually feels really good, Jonathan. I'd love if you would join me in some Prancer-Sizing.
Still to come on the show, we've got Barbara Windsor, music and chat with Adina Menzel and Ed Sheeran. Lewis Hamilton will be here, and Jimmy Carson join us after the break. This works. Still here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Let's get my next guest out. From the Carry On films through to EastEnders, she's one of my all-time favourite actresses. I just love her. I know you do too. We're thrilled she's here. It's Barbara Windsor, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Come on out. You know David, of course. Barbara Windsor, ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
Lovely.
Wow, it gave you an extra little wiggle coming in there.
Darling, there was no gossip in that room.
None at all?
No, it was boring. They were
Really?
talking about cars and watches.
Oh, that's boring. 'Cause
Yes,
you
no,
like a bit of showbiz gossip.
I do, and look, my friend.
Well, you two,
You love it,
it
yeah.
must be terrible when you're out. I can imagine people's ears are burning all over the place. Do you hold back at all, or do you share every secret?
Not everything, darling.
No? No.
But I like to know what's going on, don't you? Yes. Yes, we like a bit of gossip.
Well, hey, Merry Christmas, first of all.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, my lovely.
I know you're going to celebrate Christmas off this year, but for as long as I've been in the business, I've seen you almost always doing pantos and working. Did you have many Christmases off in the past?
No, none. Not until I got into EastEnders. That was funny, actually. You work so hard in EastEnders, you know, long hours, but you get 2 weeks off at Christmas,
Yeah, so
which
you
was
get a
new
break,
for me.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I got my first job when I was 13. But yes, always. I've always worked. I mean, that was pantomime. I had the one line, you know, here comes the Baron. And from then on, it was always... Yes, you see, I shouldn't be... No, but you see, being little, it came in very handy because I was on the end of the line.
How old are you there in that photograph?
Oh, that I was about 7, 8.
I think you're probably taller there than you are now.
No, I'm not. I'm not, believe me. I'm not, 4'10.5" or nothing, yeah.
And so you had your first panto when you were 13, you said?
Yeah. I actually did a pantomime, as I say, I was going to say in Blackpool. When I was 7, I got evacuated to Blackpool during the war. And I tap danced, I did ballet and everything, and I talked on like that and said, Mummy, would you pass the butter, please?
Wow.
I used to talk, yes, on Lancashire when I...
But you were originally, you were from the East End, weren't you?
Yeah, I
But your mum didn't like people knowing that, did she?
No, she didn't. No, not at all. Don't tell anybody you come from the East End, Babs, please. She would have hated EastEnders. I mean, she didn't like me doing the carry-ons. Once I did Shakespeare at Chichester, that to her. I went to see her one day and I could hear her saying over the... Yes, we see my Barbara doesn't really... She only does that as a favour, the carry-ons. That's how she used to talk. Yeah, that's the way she... I understood. She said, but you do... She does Shakespeare. She's been at Chichester. That's all I'd hear from her, Chichester.
Yeah.
I only did it once, Mum. That was the
Okay. So how will you be spending Christmas? What are you doing this year on one of these, you know, the last few years you had them off, so...
Well, it's been great.
This is a
expression,
This is a rare Christmas off.
Yeah. Well, I can spend it with my husband Scott's family. They're great. They're a big family. I'm not used to that, you see, being an only child. And so that's... Ever since... I got my 2 weeks off at the end of the year in EastEnders. I've been going to the family who live in the country, and it's great.
You mentioned Carry On there, of course, and I grew up loving them. I know you grew up loving them as well.
I still love them today.
You're not going to do it, are you?
Well, we do have a clip to show, but it's not a boob-out clip or anything like that.
OK, because I'm 77 now.
No, I know, but see... Well, I'm not going to ask... That's right, but Barbara... I'm not going to ask you to reenact it.
No.
Was Barbara's the first boobs that you ever saw?
I think, well, when you say boobs, plural, Barbara's was the first boob I ever saw.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that one.
Look at that.
I didn't see that
Horrible,
one. I
isn't it?
saw Carry On Henry, and if you remember, in Carry On Henry, it's shot from above.
Yeah.
You're in a mirror. You're getting
God.
changed.
You know this very well.
Well, because...
It's a really lovely Christmassy story.
Just that.
You started it. Was it the truth? The same
But
for
it
you?
was for me. I'm sure it was the first boob I ever saw was yours. I've always had a
And it shouldn't have
crush
been,
on
you know,
Barbara.
because we had in those days, what do you call them, censor?
Yeah.
John Trevelyan. And there was 3 takes on that famous scene. And he had an old hand at the studio who had the rod and that there, and he had to go, full at one time, pull it off. Yeah. Anyway, we did it once. And, of course, it didn't work. And I got pulled into the mud and Jeremy, the director, said, get her up, mop her down. And Kenny's saying, Kenny Williams is in the background saying, it's a disgrace treating her like that. It's a disgrace. Anyway, they mopped me down and I went again. Then I showed the right boob. We'll have to go again. It was unbelievable. And we did it the third time. Anyway, he took it to the John Trevelyan, the guy, and he said, look, these are the scenes. And he said, I'd like to actually show the one with the boob. And he looked at it, John, and he said, well, I don't think Miss Windsor's right boob is going to corrupt the nation. We'll go with that.
Wow.
Well, not happy for me, dear,
no.
because I was an actress. I was going to go to Chichester, wasn't I?
Chichester. Your mum must have been furious.
Oh, never spoke to me.
No.
Never spoke to me for ages.
Wow.
Over that film.
And what brought you back together?
Well, family. It's
You've
all
got to
about
forget
family,
eventually.
isn't it?
Now, this is an exciting development in your life. I would have thought you've got the Freedom of London now. Barbara's been given the Freedom of London, and you've been given an honorary doctorate at the University of East London.
I'm past!
She's arrived. That one's for Mum. Your mother would have been.
I can't believe it. I'm so thrilled. You know, and I can't, and I'm lucky to be in this business, you know. Little 4'10½", nothing. You know what I mean? And to get things like that, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm so proud of that. That was great.
And you've become the, what does this entail? You've become the street party ambassador for London. Boris Johnson.
Yeah, that's bringing communities together.
So what do? You go out and you help
Yeah.
follow a street party, or you appear at them?
Yeah, of course. I do a little song and all the rest of it. It's just to bring people together, because once upon a time, in one house, there'd be one family.
Yeah.
Now there can be in one house about 4 different families and all different people from
get
all
them-
over the world.
So get them out in the street and then they'll get
Absolutely.
talking.
So we have some wonderful, wonderful street parties. They've been a big success.
Can we go to the next one? Because I've never, ever been to a
Oh,
street
it's brilliant.
party.
OK.
I'd really like to.
Yeah. You know,
Well, maybe your street. We should do the party in your street and you can host
Yeah.
it.
But it really does. And
Can I? There's quite a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
It might be quite
and
dangerous.
it is rather posh, this street, too, you know.
Have you been at his house?
Yeah, oh, it's marvellous. It's lovely. And his lovely baby and his... Oh, have you seen his wife?
Have I?
Do you know what he did to me? He's married to the most beautiful wife ever, and he was going to introduce us for the very first time. So we met in the restaurant, and this beautiful woman walks in, and as he says, now, this is Barbara, this is my wife. She said, don't worry, I've told all about you. I've made them watch Carry On Camping in the afternoon. Where did she come from?
Holland.
Holland.
Well, she hadn't seen it, you see.
I know.
And she did. I said, this is the best introduction.
Yes.
To Barbara's book. I mean, we didn't get the chance to go to Chichester, so
Yes,
we
yes.
thought...
What did
what's
she-
that?
what did
she
Lara-
loved it. She loved
said,
it.
"Oh, no, I love you." She said, "You are so sweet and lovely. I love you too." You know, she's got you. I go now. I look up to her like that.
Has she had a reaction to nuts or something?
I'm sorry, I wasn't being rude. Was I?
No, that's how she speaks all the
Beautiful
time.
lips.
She don't speak like that.
No, she's got these beautiful
She
lips.
speaks like that. Don't. Shut your eyes. David.
No, I don't trust what you're going to do.
Let me ask you one thing, though. You mentioned EastEnders.
Yeah.
You haven't been there for a while.
No.
I hear rumour that you might be going back into Albert Square.
Yeah, well, you know, when they burnt the Vic down, I thought they're annoyed with me. They're going to burn me down as well, because they did, and it did look it. They never told me to the bitter end that I wasn't going to.
you were
Well,
gonna
I didn't mind whatever because I'd chosen to go.
Yeah.
You see, I was getting a bit tired. Anyway, they said no, we'll never kill you off, Barbara. And they keep every now and then phoning me up and saying, "Can I go back?" And I can't resist it. But this is. Oh, I've got to go back for this. It's 30 years.
30th anniversary.
But I don't know, and we're going to try and get some people back, some others, please, God,
Wow.
you know.
Is Dirty Den still alive? He's still alive? Or do they
Yes,
Dirty Den's still alive?
he is. Ross Kemp's still alive, isn't
Nick's...
it? Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I meant...
yeah,
I was talking about...
yeah, very much so,
Well, you
yes.
heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but,
Sure,
but I was thinking, you know, he goes off to does those terrible things, doesn't he, all around the world.
They keep
Getting
on trying to kill him,
himself
but he survived.
Well, I did ask him why he did it.
And why did he do it?
Well, he said because he played so many tough people.
He wanted to be tough on screen?
Yeah.
OK,
bless
that makes
him.
sense. Could you give us, before you go, because I imagine you get asked for this a lot in the street,
What's that, yeah?
what do people want you to say from the EastEnders?
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, let's have one before we go, and then we're going to go to the break. And then when we come back, we have Ed Sheeran, Lewis Hamilton, Jimmy Carr will be here. We have music from Idina Menzel. Before we do, as if we're being thrown out of the Queen Vic.
Get out of my pub!
There you go. See you after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Williams is here, David Wellington. Let's get my next guest on. He is quite literally a global phenomenon. His latest album, Multiply, has been the biggest and fastest-selling album of the year. He is just a great talent. Will you please welcome young Mr. Ed Sheeran? Thank you very much for being here. Ed Sheeran, David, Sit down, Ed, sit down. Good to see you. Well, that's what I like to see. That's the spirit of Christmas right there.
They tried to take it off me when I came in.
No, you're allowed to have it.
I said, I brought it myself, you know.
No, you brought your own wine to the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you not think we would have wine here?
I don't know.
Have you done shows before where they have no alcohol?
Yeah.
Is it because of your age?
No, they just... you know, I did a show in Holland the other week where they had the mayor of Rotterdam, and he was... I thought he was a pimp, and I told him that I thought he was a pimp. And,
Hold on, you told him. That's why they don't want you drinking, obviously. Had you had a drink?
Yeah.
OK. Let me ask you about the big, exciting gig you played recently, which was... it must have been quite a weird experience. I'd love to know what it was like. The Victoria's Secret underwear people were here in London to do their big show, which gets covered all over the world. And they had Taylor Swift, who I know you're a friend of. She was performing there. There was Ariana Grande was there as well. And you, of course, now you're the only one who got away not showing your legs, for a start. What was that gig like? It must have been, I would have thought, a very different sort of experience to a normal one.
Do you know what? I got a bit of flack for this because everyone's saying how happy I look and look like a kid in a candy store. Now, right here, firstly, let me say that I felt like I was in The Hobbit because everyone's... I'm in the Elven Kingdom here. I've got Legolas and Galadriel behind me. And I'm Samwise Gamgee trying to get home. Just but right here, people think that I'm smiling and being like, you know, I'm surrounded by a load of models in underwear. There are these big black bouncy balls that are bouncing around the audience, and Ariana Grande comes on stage, and she's like, she started off on Nickelodeon, so she's
She's just a kid still, isn't she?
No, she's 21, but in my mind she was very innocent, and probably still is. So she comes on, and all these black bouncy balls bouncing about. And we were all there like this, like, yay, the show's finished. And she's like, oh, my God, I love big black balls. And she's looking at that. This is me. In my head, I'm thinking, if you're being serious, it's amazing. If you're not, it's even more amazing.
But you do look like... Let's have a look at the other picture, because you do very much look like you're having a good time here. You see, I mean, it's not just all about the jokes. That's a happy fella. You're having a good night out there.
It was work.
All right. Are these new tattoos you're sporting here?
No, I had these the last time I was on the show. I was just wearing a jumper because my grandmother tuned in, but now she knows I've got them. So.
Will you be seeing Grandma over Christmas? Are you spending Christmas in the UK with your family here?
Yeah, it will be her 86th birthday.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Isn't that lovely?
But my other grandmother is going to be her 91st birthday. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So she's even more impressive.
Yeah, well, she's a massive golf fan, and we had McIlroy turn up to a gig in Belfast, and he signed a book for her and everything. That's now her tea and coffee conversation with all her mates.
So that's her present sorted. What free gift have you got for the other grandmother?
I'm getting her some art. I bought some art. She's into art.
Wow. So that's lovely. Well, I imagine, though, you're a fairly arty family, aren't you? Because I know your parents encouraged you away from pursuits such as watching television and playing video games.
Yes.
To make you be creative.
Yeah.
And it played off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to play an Xbox, which is... It proves difficult sometimes when people are playing FIFA and they say, come on, let's play. Yeah.
Do you feel that you're missing out there?
Sometimes, yeah. Because that's all anyone does on the tour bus. I've now steered the tour bus away from FIFA to The Simpsons. We now just watch The Simpsons and drink red wine and eat cheese.
You said you're going to be seeing your family at Christmas. Your family have any traditions, anything weird that you do that other families don't do? What is a Christmas at home for you like?
My brother's vegetarian as well, so, like, we don't have normal Christmas lunch. We'll have, like, tortellini.
So, and what does he have, like, the roast beast? We get my daughter, she's a fairly strict vegetarian, we buy this kind of, it's like a lump of something. It's like a kind of, imagine a turkey born with no arms or legs or head or anything. And it was just plopped on the table like that, and you cook it. She loves it, she can't get enough of it. She eats the whole one.
Yeah, no, we were like, my whole childhood was just Linda McCartney sausages, and like, fair play, they're probably healthy, but and the time my grandmother was so against us not eating meat that like she gave me a bacon sandwich once, and I was like, this is wicked. What's this? She's like, bacon, and I was like, this is meat. And then I got into it.
So you hadn't had meat before then?
I'd never had. I was like 10 or something, but now I'm like bang into it. Yeah.
Wow, I bet you are. So incredible few years for you. I mean, really, man, you know, 2 number ones, I believe.
Yeah, but that only happened this year. I went, like, number ones weren't a thing that happened for me. It was very much sort of like slow and steady. And then this year, it just went a bit nuts. Yeah, it was quite sad, actually, because I had a number one 5 weeks ago. And then there was this band who were having their first number one. And they planned a party and stuff. And then the song went to number one.
You were back to number one again.
Yeah. I felt so fucking bad.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, so you must feel terrible.
You know, but I wasn't even planning it. A lad covered it on the X Factor, and then it went back. So it wasn't even like a plan. But yeah.
I think you're not entirely upset about being back at number one. I mean, you must be quite competitive, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very competitive, yeah. I want to crush people.
Well, there you go. Well, nice to know you're succeeding. And once again, if that isn't the true spirit of Christmas, I don't know what it is. How long ago was it? Because reading your story, I know you started out small, as we do, and you made your own CDs, and you would try and sell your CDs after the gig.
Yeah.
You carry them around in a rucksack and sell them to people. How long ago was that, to go from there to having like 2 number ones in a year, selling 2 million albums, playing all over the world? What kind of time period did that happen in?
It went, I mean, the last time I was struggling was 2009. And in 2010, the way it started to go well is I just stopped caring. I stopped wanting to get signed. I stopped wanting to have people like my music. I stopped wanting to please people. And I just started being like, right, I'm going to make music for me. I'm going to do gigs for me. I'm going to do me. And then I suddenly had people supporting me. And before, I was just trying to please everyone. I was making songs for record companies to go, oh, that sounds like James Blunt. Yeah, we might sign that.
So you were trying to write stuff that you knew people already liked,
yeah,
rather than trying to write the stuff that you wanted to do.
Precisely. And pretty much the beginning of 2010, I just went straight for it.
And do you still have some of those old CDs that you couldn't sell?
Yeah, I do. My mum eBays them.
Wow.
Hey.
That must be quite a nice little industry for her. What does she get for a CD?
I don't know. I think you know, I mean, they pretty much all go to charity. She supports the children's
Oh, we all say that.
No.
So, for charity, that's a very nice thing to do then.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
some of them I won't sell because they sound like...
Well, they're the ones we're interested in.
Class. Oh, God, they're really bad.
When you say really bad, though, what was wrong with them, and what was different in the music you were doing then as opposed to...
I'm going to play you a song.
Okay.
So this is my thing. When people go, oh, you're so talented, you were born with natural talent. I'm like, no. Okay. have a listen to this, right? This is the...
Has this been played in public before?
No.
Okay,
this is
an exclusive. Ed Sheeran, when he was shit, basically.
Yeah, basically, all I'm saying is when people say artists are born with talent, you're not. You have to really learn and really practice. This is me playing guitar and singing. I'm going to put it into my mic like this.
It's okay so far.
It starts off. It hasn't gone. Hold me.
I'm addicted
Oh.
to
And then.
but I'm grown.
But you know what?
Wow.
Do you know what? I did practice.
After that, you practiced.
I did. Yeah, no, I probably needed it.
Not one of Justin Bieber's tracks.
Do you know what? Bieber's not without his charm. I sat in a Range Rover once with Bieber, with him playing me his songs and him being like, yo, my shit's so dope. I'm like, oh, sweet. Can you get me some more wine, please?
Okay, if they bring the bottle out, I can pour it for you. Bring the bottle out, I'll pour it for you. That's right, and in 5 years' time, it is in the Betty Ford Clinic. Remember, you encouraged it.
Okay. This is the bottle I brought.
This is the bottle you bought. Is this a good wine?
I don't know. Tastes good.
Okay.
Would you like some? to taste it.
I think that's enough for you, young man. I think that's enough. And that can last you till Christmas.
No, yes, I'd love some.
I don't really like red wine very much.
I got well into it when I started hanging out in France.
Barbara, you're having water and stuff like that, so you don't want any?
No, thank you.
David, I would offer you some, but I don't want to.
You know what, the thing, I arrived and I said to Jimmy, I was like, you drinking? He's like, no, I'm going to have to try and be funny earlier. Yeah. And then I think
Why is he starting now?
Well, because Lewis was suddenly like, bring the cognac, and Jimmy was like, I'll have a cognac.
Yeah. He's so easily led.
No, but...
we have a present for you.
Do you?
And we have a present for Barbara. I forgot to give Barbara a present. Let me give it to you. Let me give you both your presents. I hope you like them. So let me give you... Barbara, yours is here, and there's a few things in there for you.
OK.
They're meant to be... I don't know what they're like, but they're meant to be great for relieving stress this time of year. And, Ed, you are going to enjoy yours very much indeed. I think I want to see you... That's something to wear, and yours is something to use. So... Thank you. Let's go... I think, Ed... That... Yes. You're going to let that, put that on, because you can sing in that. You could use that on top. Because when you move your mouth... Now, move your mouth and have a talk. Okay, yeah, you squeeze... They're stress relievers. You squeeze them and pull them and it makes it relieve stress.
What is that
That's a stress... You've got it the wrong way up. It's a mushroom.
What?
It's a stress reliever.
Oh. But how does it relieve stress? What do you have to do with it?
They're the latest stress relievers.
Stop.
But how do you use them?
Well, use it however you feel.
What do you do? You squeeze it.
Do you go... Because you thought I would do that.
No, they're just stress. They're all... They're legitimate stress relievers. You pull on them and stuff. No, you don't do it like that. You don't...
That's perfect for him.
Give it to Ed. Let's give the dog a bone.
What the fuck is this? I can't really see through this. Is this...
This mine,
It's sort of the opposite of what...
Give it to Barbara. She's got a lot of stress this time of year, and that will help you relieve it.
People have just tuned in. What will they think is going on?
I reckon that thing is an improvement.
Yeah.
You don't hear about the show. Neither one. You look lovely, Ed. Let me take care of that. I will look after you. That's a pretty good... That's a great gift, I think.
Gift.
Yeah,
that's better than my gift.
Can I have it back?
You can, that's yours to keep. That's your Christmas gift. Okay?
We can do a bit of role play.
We can do it. Ed's going to perform for us this evening.
I'll try.
Good, lovely. OK, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to perform Thinking Out Loud. Join me in saying thank you for now to Mr. Ed Sheeran. If you want to walk over and get yourself in position, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Still to come on the show, Lewis Hamilton, Jimmy Carr, we've got music from Regina Menzel, but first, here he is, performing live for this evening, Mr. Ed Sheeran.
And I can't sweep you off of your feet. Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Or will your eyes still smile from your cheek? Darling, I will be loving you till we're 17. Baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. And maybe just the touch of a hand. Or me, I fall in love with you every single day. And I just wanna tell you I am. So honey, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my beating heart. Thinking out loud that baby, we found love right where we are. When my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds won't remember my name. When my hands don't play the strings the same way. Now I know you will still love me the same. 'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. Baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory. Ooh, and I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. And maybe it's all part of the plan. And well, I'll continue making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. Baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Oh, darling, place your head on my beating heart. Thinking now, maybe we found love right where we are. Oh, baby, we found love right where we are. And we found love right where we are.
Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen. It's very exciting to have him here. Recently, he won the Formula One world title for a second time after one of the most gripping seasons in motor racing history. Here to tell us all about that, will you please welcome Mr. Lewis Hamilton. What's that you brought out? I brought you a drink. Wow, he's brought me a drink. Whoa. Wow. What's in there? Lewis has brought me a drink out. What's in there, Lewis?
This is Jack Daniels and Coke.
Oh, my God.
The reason I bought you is because last time I came on, all those years ago, you brought out a drink of, I don't know if it was, whatever it was, but you downed it, acting like it was actually alcohol, and it was apple juice.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got you a proper drink.
I didn't think you ever drank. I got the impression that you
I don't, that's why I'm a bit more relaxed now. Come on,
lovely.
seriously.
That's not it.
I don't even like that sort of thing.
No?
What's it?
That's a man's drink.
I love it. I might put that... Well, congratulations. Never mind all that. Congratulations. Formula One Drivers' Championship last month. What an achievement, man. And to be one of the few people who've won it twice, that's quite something. So congratulations.
It is, thank you.
It really is. What a wonderful thing. That's incredible. And I know you were obviously, you know, buzzing with it straight afterwards. Are you still on the high now? Do you still feel that sense of joy? Or is it processed? Are you on to the next thing?
No, of course. It's the greatest feeling for any athlete to be at the forefront of your sport. You know, there's only 22 of us. I mean, there's 18 now, actually. And to be at the top of that, very few elite drivers is a great feeling.
And you get, because you won, you get to keep the car you raced in. Is that correct?
I do. The contract was so much better than what I had previously. You know, Ron doesn't let you keep anything. So all my trophies that I won previously, Ron has them.
And who's Ron?
Ron Dennis.
Ron Dennis?
Yeah.
I still don't know who that is. he runs the McLaren team.
Yes, yeah, McLaren keep all your trophies. So the first thing when I left, I was like, I want all my trophies. So I got all my trophies, I got a car, so I get to keep the car you see in that.
Well, that's incredible, so... but the thing is, you can't drive that going down the shops, can you? That's not even street legal, is it?
Of course not.
Well, then, so when you say, I've got the car, surely it's just a pain in the... You just got to keep it off-road somewhere. What are you ever going to do with it?
Definitely. I mean, that thing's going to be worth some money one day. But, no, honestly, what I want to do is in the future, I've got all these trophies. Hopefully I'm going to get all my old cars that I won championships in. Because I don't know if people really know what I did before I got to Formula 1, but...
Your neighbours are going to hate you because it's really hard to find somewhere to park. So you're going to have all these spaces with these sports cars.
Especially in Monaco, there's no space at all. So.
Where are you going to put them all?
I don't have no idea. But, you know, honestly, I want to do a a showroom for people to come by and have a
A
look
museum.
At. Yeah.
You could have a museum. What a great achievement, though. And, of course, we know that you are in a relationship with the lovely Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, she says hi.
Of course. She's a lovely young woman. We've had her on the show. Knowing that your girlfriend's there watching you, do you just put that from your mind completely, or is she one of the first thoughts you have after you've won that you're going to see and you can just share that moment with her?
No, I mean, so much more goes through my mind, but it was great, you know, my
So you just won a lot of new female fans right there. So.
No, honestly, you know, they surprised me that morning because I didn't have my family with me, and they surprised me that morning at breakfast, and it was great to see my dad and Linda, who have done so much for me to get me where I was. My dad had 4 jobs at one stage just to keep me cutting. It's insane. I can never, and only I would understand it when I have a kid one day, but I can't imagine the commitment my dad had. You know, I'm you know, just in awe and so much appreciation.
Like young Ed here, you are a heavily tattooed young man.
Yeah.
But your dad does not approve of the tattoos, I believe.
No, I mean, growing up, my dad would never have approved of that kind of stuff, for sure. But he accepted it, yeah. You know, you get to the age, you do what you want. But I've always wanted to... My sister, actually, the guy she married does tattoos, so I was always around it, always wanted it, but was too young at the time to get them, so...
Have you thought about getting your dad drunk and letting the...
I would love to do that.
Give him a tattoo.
That would be amazing.
Let me ask you about who's your partner in the Mercedes team? Who's it? Nicole Rosberg?
Yeah, Nicole.
Nico.
Yeah.
And there was a kind of a rivalry. there was a roughness between you two earlier this year, wasn't there? And there was a kind of a bit of a... he crashed... did he crash into you on purpose?
Well,
Why did he... First of all...
I can't prove whether it was... you know, but... You know,
why do you think he crashed into you? Why do you think he did it?
Well, we were having the closest battles throughout the year, so there was times that we were within, you know, centimetres, so we could have easily crashed at any point during the year, and, you know, who's to know? I think with me and Nico, we've known each other since we were, you know, 13. It's so intense through the year, you could not imagine. When we're sitting opposite each other, it's pretty much the same distance across the desk, and he's studying his data, and I'm studying my data, and I'm studying his data, and vice versa. And, you know, you want to get the upper hand on the guy, so...
But he's the same team as you?
He's in the same team and in the same car. The worst part is that if whatever you bring to the table, it's on show to the other driver, and that's how it is without the sport. So, you know, if you're better at one particular thing, which each driver will be, they can see what you're better at and they can work on to try and improve.
They want to try and stop you doing that thing, so if they know you're better at it...
They'll not stop you doing it, it's just the other guy can learn from your strengths.
Oh, I see.
And vice versa.
Like a 3-point turn or something like that.
Like that, yeah.
Emergency stop, you know, these kind of things.
I want to ask you a little bit more about racing, obviously, but in your spare time, you make music, don't you?
I do. I'm a huge admirer of Ed's and what he does.
And
So,
so
it's a passion. It's just
do you sing and write your own stuff, or do you just perform instruments? What
I
do. You do?
I played guitar since I was 13, but not like he does.
I
It's
really
a different
wanna hear
division.
Some stuff. Do you want to hear some stuff?
I would love to hear
Can
something.
we hear some stuff?
I don't have my phone with me.
What about if you played a little bit guitar and Lewis just sang along a little bit?
Do you know any covers?
No.
Do you know any covers?
I don't.
You sure?
Yes.
No, I don't.
No.
Everyone
I
knows
didn't
one
come prepared
cover.
like you came prepared.
All right, Lewis.
So, but what we'll say is one day I'll come back and I'll play you something, okay?
Deal.
Okay. Lewis.
But I'm going to send him some stuff.
Okay, no one covers. If you were doing karaoke, for example, what would you sing?
Gangster's Paradise. I like to.
Well, we know that
pretend
one,
I
don't we?
can rap.
I'm spending all my life living in this gangster's
gangster's
paradise.
What was the reason you put that paradise thing on?
That's how the gangsters do it.
All right, dude, look, we're going to move on. It's great to have you here. Congratulations again. We've had
Thank you so
fun
much.
chatting here, and thank you for being a good sport. But once again, congratulations on a remarkable achievement. Before I give you a gift, I want everyone to say, well done, because what a phenomenal sporting star you are, sir. It's a thrill to have you back here. Thank you, I appreciate it. We've got a present for you. Yep. Help me move this over the front here. Let's move your drinks out of the way. This is, OK, if you get that side...
Oh, yeah, what is this?
This is Lewis's little present here.
Oh, Jesus, heavy.
You go first. You go around there.
This
you go.
way, walk
Squeeze
through here?
the little
Okay.
gap and then mind yourself. OK, and I'll come over here. Because we've got 2 of these, in actual fact. If you want to unwrap that for you.
Go for it.
And then...
Oh,
Yeah, if you fancy a little bit of this section, we've got another one here. And these are, they're fully charged up.
I actually had to go on one of these the other week.
OK, there you go. Well, let's see. This could be the only chance you have at beating...
It's like a...
you know what, Lewis? Just foot down on there.
It's not working.
Yeah, put your foot down.
The little thing by your right foot is the accelerator.
Wait.
That's if you want to spin it around.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I think
They're not bumper cars, they're racing cars. Go in the back, let's see you go. Oh, my God. What are you doing? Watch out!
This is dangerous. I think I dislocated my shoulder. I don't think my insurance covers that. The funniest thing was seeing you jump this.
I didn't know you were creeping up behind me.
I was honestly going to take you out.
Oh, why are you driving that fast? What's wrong with you?
Can I have one?
You can't know.
Are they both for me?
There's no, you won't fit on there. Look at the size of you.
You can fit on it. Come on, let's have a go.
You're bigger than me.
Look, we wouldn't.
You can have a go. So you definitely can.
What? Oh. No.
You're ruining your career. Come on, come on.
How did you like to see that? Come on. This is quite a night. We're going to take a break. Show the camera. Jimmy Carr will be here. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out. If you've seen him live, you know he's one of the best comedians working today. Host of the brilliant 8 out of 10 Cats and Cat Stars Countdown. Here he is. It's Jimmy Carr.
Oh my God! Look at that. You would, wouldn't you? Hello. How are you? Nice to see you. Good to see you.
Sit yourself down. Sit yourself down.
Genuinely feels like Christmas. Everyone feels a little bit drunk.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Hey, how's Christmas in your house? Who does the cooking? Do you have a big dinner plan? What are you going to do?
Normally we try and cheat. We try and either get invited to someone else's house. That's the key thing to do.
I believe. Can I say this? I would say this. You had someone special cook for you one Christmas. Was it last Christmas?
Yeah, it wasn't like as a celebrity chef. It was just as a friend. I invited Heston round one year for Christmas.
So let's talk
to cook Christmas dinner.
So you know Heston Blumenthal.
Yeah.
And you just said, what are you doing Christmas?
Oh, I styled it out perfectly. I'm sure you won't mind me saying. I phoned him and went, well, look, you can come over to us for Christmas. It'd be fun. It'd be nice to see you. Shall I cook? I could cook. Do you want me to... I really do. I went, yeah, no, I'll cook. I'll just nip to Inverness. And he went, and then there was a pause and he went, no, I should probably do it.
Wow.
It was amazing.
So was it a great Christmas? Did he do...
no, everything was, frozen in nitrogen. It was dreadful. It was amazing.
OK, Jimmy, how long has 8 out of 10 Cats been running now?
I think we've been on 10 years. I think, I don't know. I mean...
that's a huge success, especially by Channel 4 standards. That's a huge show, isn't it?
No. 100 years on Channel 4 years.
Yeah, that's 100 years.
Like Cats years.
Yeah, it's 100 for Channel 4 years. Yeah, it has been a big success. It's a really fun show to make. And it's a lovely thing to just sort of turn up and... It's nice to be sort of part... Because when you're a stand-up, you're on your own a lot of the time. And it's kind of... You're just sort of out there touring and you're a bit bored in hotels.
I have a question for you.
You have a question?
Yeah, when you were young...
I mean, it's basically his job, but you go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Have you always laughed like that since you were a kid? Honestly.
You know, Lewis, that's the question we've all wanted to know the answer to, but we've all been too polite to ask.
I was sitting back there and I had to, because I was laughing at the laugh, so I just wanted to know.
I've got a weird... So you're meant to laugh on an out. You're meant to go, ha-ha. Like, that's normal. And I laugh on an in, so it's, ha-ha. It sounds like a clown car. It's a weird...
It sounds like if they had them on those cars you drive, that would be you reversing, wouldn't it? That's like the reversing one.
I went to a show recently. I went to see a friend of mine, Nick Helm, do a comedy show, and I was like locking down my laugh. So it was the first 20 minutes of the show. I was sat at the back, quite a small room in Edinburgh, and I was loving the show. I mean, it's brilliant. But I was going... It sounded like someone had brought an owl to the gig. That's what it sounded like. And then about 20 minutes in, I had a full-on, like a laughing fit. Like, properly, properly... It sounded mental.
Yeah.
It sounded like a goose being finger blasted, is what it sounded like. Don't ask me how I know. I know.
But you're on the road so much. You've got the TV career going, but you seem to be gigging as much, if not more than ever. How is that possible? I mean, why do you keep going? You still like being out there?
Just love it. It's such a lovely sort of thing to go out and play a live show. It's such a pleasure to kind of go and play live, and I get to play in interesting places now and travel around a bit more, and it's an absolute joy. But you love your job. I can't understand why anyone would...
This is true. The amount of travel you do, there must be times when you turn up late or you miss a gig. Does that happen?
Oh, I turned up very late recently. So I was on a train. I take the train quite a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with trains. They're like cars, but a bit... it's more cost-effective. So I was taking a train up from London to Blackburn to do a show, and it got delayed. I mean, nothing could be done. They were very nice about it, but there was a 4-hour delay.
Wow.
So I was meant to be on stage at 8 o'clock, and I didn't walk on stage until 10:15. And it is testament to how little there is to do in Blackburn that everyone stayed. They must have thought, we've got no other options. Let's go outside and have a fight or wait for this fella.
Did you phone ahead? You phoned ahead to let them know you were coming?
I phoned ahead. I had to buy everyone a drink. So then I was performing to an
Hold it. You bought everyone a drink? How many people did you have to buy for?
1,300?
No. You had
I was
to buy
2.25 hours late. I mean, I
You
can't...
bought a round for 1,300 people?
Yeah, and Northerners as well.
Wow.
That's worse.
What a very uncharacteristically nice thing for you to do.
But you've been touring all over. It's not just the UK we're in. I know you've been to Australia. I think you're going to Iceland next year. You've been to South Africa.
Yeah. I went to Australia. I basically went to Australia because I consider it to be very offshore, so I thought, well, I'll get on well there. I went to Australia in January, basically because in January here, it's always cold and wet and windy and horrible. So I thought, well, I'll go to Australia. And every day there was a MILF.
Yeah. A MILF?
44 and fucking hot.
Oh,
It was a joy.
So, Jimmy, your plans are next year you're going to carry on and do what you do, but do you ever want to move away from comedy? Do you have plans elsewhere? You haven't done what Dave's done. You don't act, you don't write particularly?
No, I've got nothing else. It's a weird thing when people say... you often come on and talk to young people and go, what's next for you? I imagine you get this a lot. What's next for you? Well, I think I might keep on driving that car. It's going brilliantly. If people say to you, what's next? You go, well, I might do some more songs. It's going amazing. Or you might do another bingo ad. It's fucking brilliant. You've got to keep doing what you're good at. We love you in that. I've got nothing. I mean, I'm in a film next year, but I don't really want to talk about it. I mean...
Why not? Why not?
I'm one of the new Bond girls.
Yeah. About time.
Yeah, sure. The special effects have caught up where I could be.
Was it last year you had your teeth whitened? Because you went about as white as teeth can go, didn't you?
Oh, I had my... Yeah, it was a weird thing. I had my teeth sort of knocked out and I mean, properly... That's a crazy thing to do, right? Ting.
Why did you do it?
Vanity, I suppose, being on TV, and I was watching myself going, oh, they're a lovely shade of yellow for the kitchen. I might get those fixed. Vanity is what it is. I'm thinking of getting my hair done. That would be my next thing.
You've been getting your hair done. It's already coloured,
I've got like well, yeah, of course, it's painted is what it is.
Yeah.
But I've got like, I suppose it's not a 4-head, it's a 6 or an 8-head. It's a bit... I mean, I'm not quite ant, but I'm getting there. And apparently you can now get your hair... Like, you can get plugs and things there. So but I'm worried if I get them put in there and then it goes back, I'll just have 2 hair horns. Yeah. And that's odd.
But you work out at home, you do exercises. You probably work out as much as Lewis does, don't you?
Oh, probably a little bit more than a professional sportsman. In his peak, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a bit more than the world champion.
You do? You're always working out?
Well, a little bit, yeah. I think it's just that, I don't know. I'm getting on a little bit. I mean, not like you're getting on, but I'm getting on. I haven't had to put a doorway on the bath yet, but I'm working towards that. So how is that working out for you?
I need a hand getting out of a soft chair these days. I have to get pulled right up.
That's meant to be the test now. If you can sit down and stand up without touching the chair. So so it's meant to be a test of fitness. So if you can sort of get up and sit down without kind of having to hold on to anything. That's a good test of your fitness.
That was like watching.
Go on, try that.
That was like watching a robot having sex. I know I can do it. I think we can all do it, apart from maybe David.
Oh, it's distressing when you do it.
Yeah! Jimmy, everyone's had a present. Everyone's had a present.
Can I just... I think...
Ed, what are you on your phone?
Ed's got a call coming in.
I'm an hour late for dinner.
You're an hour late for dinner?
Yeah, my girlfriend's cooking dinner.
Your girlfriend's cooking dinner?
Well, yeah.
What are we having?
Well, she just said she wanted to put the vegetables on, and I'm not excited about that.
It's a sketch, isn't it, this?
Jimmy, everyone's had presents this evening. I've got one for you as well, and I think you'll enjoy this. I think you'll enjoy this. This is Jimmy's present. It's a game.
It's
See
a
if you
game.
like that. And if you like it, we could always give it a go.
I love a game at Christmas.
It's a new game out this Christmas, mainly for kids, but I know Jimmy...
Oh, you having a dig at my fat face?
No.
You call me pie face?
Well, no.
That seems unfair. What is it?
It's a game in which you know, like Buckaroo used to be, when you added something and it finally goes pop, and those sort of games. This is a game where you test it, and then if you are the unlucky one, you get pie in your face.
Come on, let's play. Should we play?
We'll have a game. Why don't we have a game after the break? And if you'd
ISIS.
like to join in, I've got enough for almost all of us. Ed, you're playing?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do it. Ed's had a drink. OK, don't go anywhere. Because after the break, Idina Menzel will be performing live. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. I'm still here with my fabulous Christmas guest, but of course I just gave Jimmy this. Jimmy, we're going to go and play this game. Do you want to have a quick look?
Come on.
The way it works is you put some custard pie stuff on the hand, and you turn it a click at a time, and they're at random. You never know when the hand's going to smack the pie in your face. So it's a random game. So we're going to play it. If you don't all mind joining in, we're going to play it to its last person standing. Whoever hasn't got the pie on their face is the winner. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Will you encourage them, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go on over. Let's go on over. It's all set up for you here. Come on, Lewis, you might want to lose that hat, brother, because it's going to get messy. All right, so we put names on the back. If you get yourself in position,
might be you.
if you want to get up there, your name is there. OK, let's have a look.
Is this Barbara?
That's Barbara right there. So let me explain again. You see the little handles, the handlebars? Don't turn them yet. When you turn them away from you, one click at a time, and at random, they will go at different times. You're looking good. You're just having a rest. OK. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? OK. Here we go, here we go. And you go first. This could go at any time. Ready? And... That's it. Your turn. Barbara, away from you.
That way?
Just once. Yeah, you did it. Don't keep doing it. OK, that's fine. Ed, your turn. No. Lewis. Yeah! OK, that's one. Lewis, stay in. OK. All right. David, you're next. David. Yeah! Jimmy, your turn. Oh, OK, my turn.
How the hell did mine go off first?
I thought you liked coming first. OK, thanks. Hey. Jimmy. Oh, man, OK. Oh, I survived, Ed. Yeah! Yeah! OK, Jimmy.
Yeah, all right, come on.
Between you, it's your first. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy Carr. Here we are. Keep it up your sleeves, there's towels down there. OK. So now we've got an extra special treat for you. Christmas treat for you. In Frozen, she sang Let It Go, the song we've all been singing all year. Here performing... Do you hear what I hear? It's Idina Menzel!
Said the night wind to the little lamb, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a pie, with a tail as big as
Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the tree, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace walls, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child shivers in the cold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. Said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say. Listen to what I say. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say. The child sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear?
Well, Jonathan will return for a new series early next year, celebrating the funny side of the festive season tomorrow. You Gotta Love Christmas is at 7. Some blockbuster stars from the night at the museum get the call from Holly to spring a Christmas special of Surprise, Surprise after that at 8. Next tonight, though, over on ITV2, a trip to Essex takes us inside one company's office Christmas party. There'll be some sore heads, I'm sure. Next, the ITV News.